Wrestling fashionistas, welcome to our live edition of Stylin' the Podcast. Gentlemen, we are all here minus one. Our special guest this week, he'll be joining us shortly, Kwee. I am the Master Amir, along with my two co-stars. First, the man the show is built upon, right down there at the bottom of the screen, former WWE Tag Team Champion, former AEW Superstar, former American Gladiator Champion, the man himself, the stylist, Rico Costantino.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the live version of Stylin'. But before we start, I think all of you need to do something. You need to lay the smack down on that subscribe button. You need to share it with your friends and hit the like so everybody is privy to the Stylin' Podcast.
And it's going to be unfiltered today, unbridled, pure, what's it? Ruthless aggression.
Ruthless.
Yes, ruthless. And speaking of ruthless, let us introduce our other co-star at the top of the screen right there, the bodacious suave, Matthew Jacobs.
Glad to be here, guys. Rico, you look good as always. I'm always just
thank you, sir. Gotta stay suave.
Exactly. I'm just trying to keep up.
Yeah, what is it with the two? What are you doing, bodacious one? Are you trying to outdo me here with that shirt? What is this?
Oh, there's no question about that. That's easy.
Hey, listen,
well, for those of you who don't know, I want you to welcome my water kids. I am an avid aquarist, and I have my little kids back here I take care of in an 80-gallon tank. And watch, there'll be camera hogs.
Rico, introduce them all to us.
Oh, well, okay.
We got time.
Yeah, we got time. We got a couple
hours. Well, I don't
know.
This is a ghost knife fish. Mm-hmm. Swims like an eel. I named him Ghost because he always hid. And then I have a giant Danio with some Australian rainbows. And right here is a bala shark who's not really a shark. His name's Brody. I've got 3 electric blue Akaras. And this is Big Blue and Lenny and Squiggy. And then I have the 2 silver dollars. That's 2 bits. And then over here in the corner, I've got Jessica and Jerry. They're turquoise Severums. And then the orange and black, there's 2 of them, Evelyn and Eric. They're clown knife fish. And I don't know if you can see the little one in the back. There's 2 of those.
You got to zoom in, Rico. You got to bring the camera closer here.
Oh, well, I can't do that or else it'll mess up my system. But that's most of them. Yeah. And I take care of them. Like I said, the 80-gallon tank. I have 2 hang on the back filters, and I have a canister filter that keeps their water clean. I feed them every 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, they get krill, which I have to cut up, and they get bloodworms, and they get mysis shrimp. They get a vegetable cube, and they get carnivorous pellets. So I've been doing this a while.
Sounds like you take care of your own. Unlike what we hear in the WWE right now. Bodacious stuff. Yeah, let's get right into it because one of our dear loyal subscribers, not sure if he's watching, if he's out there, I believe he's Red Fox. He asked us to cover this particular topic a couple of weeks ago. So, Rico, now TKO, the biggest money grabbers on earth, the corrupt scumbags from Hollywood, they're charging former WWE stars now to go watch shows. So, this guy called, yes, they're doing it. So if you were to be there, they would charge you to buy a ticket now.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What is that? I mean, I haven't done it recently. I mean, WWE was just in Phoenix. No, they were in Prescott, which is 20 minutes away. And I didn't even go.
Yeah.
But in the past, I'd go to shows and they would just let me in and I'd go talk to the boys and stuff like that and just sit backstage and watch the show from the back.
Yeah.
I mean, now they're charging wrestlers?
Yes, because this happened Bodacious, when you brought this up to me, so what happened was C.J. Perry, better known as Lana, she was a manager. She managed a guy called Rusev. Lackluster personality, in my opinion. But anyway, she managed him. And Bodacious, are you laughing right there?
Yeah, leave the insults to me, man. Your credibility is sinking here.
My credibility is just fine. Ask the stylist. So anyway, that's what I was saying. So now what's happened is her husband, they divorced. Now they're back together. A guy called Rusev. He's being charged to go into events, even though she's actually part of the. What contract does she have? Bodacious one?
Is it like a alumni thing?
Legends deal. She has a Legends deal.
Legends deal?
Yeah, this
Wait
is
a minute. Why don't I have a Legends deal?
Exactly.
What is that crap?
Yeah.
You know, you don't charge wrestlers. You don't do that. It's a, come see, come saw. It's it's out of respect for what that person did prior to you, and you help the new talent come in. You talk to them, and ones that want to talk to you, you inspire them, and they have many questions. I can't tell you when I was going to events how many of the up and coming stars would come to me and ask me questions, pertinent questions about the business and how to act around the boys and management and stuff like that. That's vital. Yeah. And you're going to charge somebody to go who's been part of the business? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is just low.
Well, the money grubbing doesn't end there, because our dear colleague at the top of the screen right there, Matthew, you were telling me this morning about the ticket prices for Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, might I add, Rico. Matthew, please elaborate for us.
I'm looking at them. So I'm Canadian.
Yes, we're live, Magic Crazy.
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
I'm Canadian. I'm not the smartest guy, but I saw the numbers they're charging. So I think that's in the Saudi Arabia currency. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what it's called. The most expensive ticket is a VVIP, which is $440. If you convert that to American dollars, it comes up to, what was it, Samir? Like $156 or $168?
Yeah.
Now, Monday Night Raw is coming to Montreal in January. Tickets are more expensive to go to Raw. So it's like the Saudis are getting like an awesome deal, it sounds like.
But you know who's not? It's Rico. It's the American fans. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They're treating us like garbage. And don't sell yourself short there, Suave. I'm half Canadian myself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Remember that. To all our Canadian contingent out there, much respect. But yeah, what I think's going on, Rico, is if these ticket prices are low, it's a sleazy move, because then the American fans are going to look, oh, the ticket price is so cheap, but they're still going to have to bankrupt themselves to catch a flight to go to Saudi and potentially risk their lives out there, because some of these unsavory characters that may want to travel out there are not going to be well received.
It's an unstable environment. Bodyguarding speaking, it's unstable. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's always turmoil between this sect, that sect. You got to stay within boundaries to be safe. And I'm pretty sure WWE, TKO, or whatever runs it is in the safe boundary. It's just getting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very expensive together. They're going back for WrestleMania next year. So we covered this before. We were talking about what we'll think. And of course, over on the cafe, I was with Stevie Richards and Maven. We all seem to think that this points, Bodacious Suave, likewise, this points to WWE being sold as a commodity to the Saudis eventually. This is what it's looking like right now.
Yep, I'd say all fingers point that way, because they're making it easy for the Saudis to get in. I don't know what the exchange rate was. If you told me before, I'd have looked it up. Yeah. But that's deplorable.
Yeah,
I mean, the cheapest ticket is $20.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's probably the nosebleed section or in a room with a big monitor TV.
Well,
Well,
Rico,
sorry. No,
go ahead.
No, please. It's your show. Go ahead.
It's our show.
Yes.
Well,
So,
you can't. The master always has hurt feelings, right? He always texts me the next day.
I'll take care of the master.
I don't get hurt feelings. Let me just clear that up. I get pissed off occasionally at people, but that's by the by. But what I was going to say is those $20 nosebleed seats, Rico. The thing is here in the U.S., those nosebleed seats now are like $400.
Yeah. Dare I say it? They're raping the American public.
Yep.
They are. I mean, they know people, from way back, WWF, even before Vince, when his father was there, they've built a solid foundation of fans, and the fans have always been there, and to do this to your fan base is a sin. It's just really bad business.
Well, WWE have proven themselves time and time again. They don't care about anything. We just got the news that John Cena was going to be facing Gunther as his final match on Saturday night main event, which is kind of like a fizzle and pop. It's not really anything impressive or to write home about.
No.
They dropped the ball, in my opinion, on John Cena's entire last year. The whole thing's been a mess because the heel turn was fantastic. I think all our viewers out there would agree with me on that. The heel turn was fantastic when he first came
back. And I called that.
Yes, you did. You called that way back then. But then they involved this rapper, is he? Bodacious Suave, this Travis Scott, not knucklehead.
Yeah, and he was. I found out yesterday they were going to book him with John Cena and CM Punk. It was going to be like a 3-on-3. But apparently Travis Scott weaseled out and I guess was like, oh crap, wrestling's real. Like that hurts taking a bump. I don't want to.
Well, see, and that just it's wrestling is real. It's choreographed, but the moves are real. What those wrestlers and these athletes do, I'm telling you, and I've said it before. I mean, I was a pro athlete and a stuntman. American Gladiators, Conquer Fort Boyard, Batman. I was in the Conan show. I know how to take bumps. And when I first got to Jesse Hernandez school, I ran the ropes 4 times and I was gassed.
Yeah.
So people don't give the right amount of credit to pro wrestlers. It's a different type of conditioning, a different type of athlete. And you got to prepare yourself. I mean, a 4-minute match to somebody who's not been in the ring, they'd pass out.
Yeah.
You know what I hate? I hate the crash pads, for example, because you give a crash pad to someone who's never wrestled. They think it's so easy, right? Oh, let's go. Let me be Tarzan, whatever. And I'm going to do this Macho Man elbow drop. Great. You know what? Let me go lay there and try and do it on me without breaking my face or busting my ribs.
Yeah.
So you don't know how to do it.
Well, see, a crash pad is necessary when you're practicing, not when you're in the ring. I mean, if I knew I was going to do my moonsault, which was very high, and Bill DeMott called it the high hard one. So before I went into wrestling, I made sure I would hit my mark because I told the people to lay in the center of the ring because I jumped so high and I would hit the center of the ring, where it was softer, easier on the person taking it. So I used a crash pad, but I've already missed enough moonsaults as a heel, which was the turning point. Yeah. So I had it down. Yeah. But don't go to the crash pad if you've never done it. Right. I mean, without it, like I said, as a heel, I missed every moonsault. I never hit a moonsault as a heel.
Yeah.
So I knew how high, how hard to bounce, how to get my body over and land flat safely. So I had all that practice on TV, house shows and stuff like that. And when I turned face with the Adrian Street character, when I hit somebody, they didn't feel it. I knew how to brace myself and keep the other person safe.
Very good. I want to say, Eddie, all of our fans, all of our viewers watching, if you want to hit a super sticker, a super chat, if you want your questions answered live, if you got a suggestion for us on live, make sure you use those super stickers and those super chats. That's why they're there. And also, we are awaiting the arrival of Alan Funk, a.k.a. Kwee from WCW, a man who shares some similarities with you, my friend Stylist.
I got to ask him some questions. I really do.
Yeah, this is going to be, I've billed it as the battle between Rico Costantino and Kwee. So we'll find out.
To premise it, I want to find out if he was told to do that character or he chose to do that character. That's what I want to find out.
Yeah.
Because with me, under Vince, I wasn't given a choice.
Yeah.
I was told to be this stylist, and I was told to be this Adrian Street character with no help from creative or Vince or anybody. I had to come up with things on my own. So I want to ask Alan Funk, how did he come up with it, and how did he proceed to be as entertaining as he was?
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of creative, Matthew and I covered this over on Masterclass just this morning. Jey Uso, the Usos, Rikishi's sons. One of them has been pushed to the moon for the past year. Jey Uso. He's like a dollar store ripoff Macho Man. That's basically what he is. But he recently fell flat on his face.
What do you mean?
Meaning they gave him the title. He was world champion, all this other stuff. I don't know how or why. What was that bodacious one?
I think he got IC champion. I don't think he got the world title, but he got the IC, I think, for like a week, and then they removed it off him.
So anyway, they went to singles, and then they put him back as a tag team now. Now they're back in the tag team division, which is fine. I think they're a good tag team. Definitely not the greatest tag team of all time. By far, they're not. But
what was which Uso had that moniker, that thing he did?
This is the one we're talking about, the ridiculous yeet nonsense.
Yeet. Okay, so it's Jay.
Yeah. This is the one. This is the guy they've relegated back to the tag team division. But as we were saying, it's kind of like Rikishi, who you know very well, Rico, for many reasons.
Yeah. For many reasons.
So, but they're doing the same to Jay now as Rikishi. Remember, Rikishi was the Head Shrinkers. Then he became the hip-hop artist. Then he was the Sultan. Then he became Rikishi. Well, now it's kind of the same thing. Jay went off and became this hip-hop yeet. I don't know what he's supposed to be, Macho Man. Now they're throwing him back in the tag team division. But what do you think, like, for you, Rico? Like, if your character fails miserably to that extent, if that happened to you, Rico, like, what would you do? How would you feel? How would you respond if it wasn't working?
Well, like I said, the two characters Vince gave me had no hope whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, it's upon the professional. It's upon Jay. It was upon me to flesh it out, to discover and internalize whatever character they gave me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like Hollywood movie stars, Bruce Willis, Clint Eastwood, Stallone. I can go on forever, but Stallone went from Rocky to Rambo. Now he's the Tulsa King, but he keeps evolving. And I'm going to compare him to The Undertaker. Undertaker kept evolving.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he was so successful.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know what the creative scene is behind Jey Uso or any of that. But if they're trying to give him a character, it's up to him to internalize it, think about it, and turn it into something that the fans will accept.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. Believe me, I did it twice.
What I think, though, Matthew, go ahead. I see you about to say something.
So with what you said, Rico, I totally agree. In your opinion, because you made it, do you find it's harder for today's superstars to do that? Because I get the idea that they just feel entitled, and they
Well, I okay. If they feel entitled due to their lineage or something like that, that holds them back. They got to take it, and they know they're talented, and the Usos are talented. I'm not taking anything from them, but whatever creative is trying to hand him, he needs to take it, embrace it, and make the character believable. And I've said this before, Bodacious, you know this, Master, you know this. My two characters are the exact opposite of who I am in real life.
That's interesting, Rico, because mine is not, in fact, a character. It is exactly who I am.
Remember to give you two reasons why when I see you, that's not a good idea. I'm going to give you the Three Stooges pink poke in the eye. That's the two reasons.
That's funny, man. But no, I love your explanation, Rico. I love you because, I think like with the creative direction, the lack of it that WWE is being given these guys now, it's like I think it comes from the head though. I agree with you. Jay needs to be in a position to internalize it. And you've got to be honest with yourself. That's the thing. I think a lot of guys are not honest with themselves. I've come across many guys in my time who think their main event status, think they're larger than life and all these other things, and they got the bells and whistles. They don't. They do not. There's it's like when Vince was around, he knew who his main event guys were. He knew who his mid-card guys were. He knew it, right? Bodacious One?
100%.
And one of the things that Vince did was, as Stevie was saying over on the cafe, he said he would sit down with the wrestlers, find out who they were, to be able to establish and help them come up with a persona. Nowadays, heck, it even happens in the indies. I was just having a conversation with my wife. By the way, I want to give a thanks to my wife because, for all her support. I think we can all say the same thing. You too, Bodacious Suave.
Tink. Yes. I want to say thank you, Tink, for supporting the master.
Yeah, thank you, my dear, for that. And but coming back to what I was saying, what was I saying there about creative? Finding out who the person was. Even on the indies now, you've got indie promoters out there. Believe it or not, you got indie promoters that are trying to give guys characters and gimmicks. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. What is this indie promoter? Has he ever worked for WWE? Has he ever worked for AEW? But yet he thinks he's got the creative juices to give a character to a guy who's trying to make it. This ego trip is everywhere.
Well, with the indie guys, whoever owns whatever organization should keep the booker in check.
Yeah.
The owner should have a whole storyline on how he wants his federation to go. He needs his main event guys. He needs his mid-card guys. He needs all of that. Mm-hmm. And if the booker's not on board with the owner of the franchise, then you get conflict.
Yeah. And
if the booker is not put in check, then you're going to get mismatches. You're going to get misunderstood characters. I was fortunate enough that when I came into Empire Wrestling Federation with the American Gladiator title, I was already established right then and there. So I had it easy there, I already had television fame and stuff like that. And I was using it in Empire Wrestling Federation. Mm-hmm. And even when I went to OVW, Jim Cornette used that to catapult me, into a face, which why I became the number one baby face. So it's all how, like I said, the owner perceives his federation, and he's got to be in close contact with the booker. Yeah. And he's got to relay that information to the booker. So if this guy is any type of booker, he will take what the owner says and translate it into matches. Yeah. And I think that's what's lacking now. I think because somebody thinks they're a booker, that they own everybody and they can tell everybody what they can do. Well, no, that's not true. No. You know, you got to let somebody, be who they are. And if you want to fine tune them to get in touch with the audience and make a connection with the audience, that's your job. See, and that's where WCW, AEW, ECW, WWF, that's why they have agents. You know, they have bookers and then they have agents that when they have that meeting, you know, for television, Vince says, this is what I want for the show. This is how I want it to go. Yeah. That passes down to the agents. So Vince assigns, okay, you're going to take this match. You're going to take this match. You're going to take this match, blah, blah, blah. And the agents know what Vince wants, the owner. Yeah. So the agents go down and they tell the wrestlers, this is what we need to do. They don't say this is what Vince wants. They go, this is how we need to have the match.
Exactly. And at Rico, we've got our very first ding, ding, ding super chat of the day. One of our loyal viewers, our loyal fans, and I'm going to accentuate that. Here he is, the man himself, Red Fox Punks, and he asks, on this topic, Rico, what direction was given to you with Billy and Chuck? What were your thoughts on the creative for that, especially the wedding angle?
I was given no direction. I've said it before. I got called up because I was on 90 days. I was going to get cut. So I came up with Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Ron H2 Waterman, and myself. And we were doing dark matches. And then after 90 days, if they didn't find anything for me, I was going to be cut from the roster. And then like I said, I believe Stephanie thought of me as a manager for Billy and Chuck. So when I got told by Vince I was going to be a stylist, I said, what kind of stylist? Hair stylist, foot stylist, image stylist? I don't know. He goes, flesh it out. And he walked away. So I was like, oh, I got no help. So the first 2 weeks I dressed black on black and went out with the champs. And then I started thinking, okay, stylist. And then I came up with the idea of an image consultant from New York. And then I started buying outfits and all the crazy stuff. The sideburns came in, and then I took it from there. You know, and with the wedding and stuff like that, they told us there was going to be a wedding. And then before the wedding, Chuck was going to propose to Billy and stuff like that. And I had to do monologues and stuff like that. And during the wedding, Stephanie was in charge and stuff like that. And, you know, but at that time, Stephanie and Eric Bischoff were having wars between SmackDown and Raw. And Eric came dressed as the minister, you know, to perform the wedding, and nobody knew about it. And until he said, wait a minute, did I hear myself say 3 minutes? Yeah. And then, oh my gosh, then all hell broke loose, and Billy and Chuck dissolved. And then I went over to Raw and managed 3 Minute Warning. And God rest both their wonderful souls, Jamal and Rosie. I got to work with them, wonderful men. And I've got to meet their children and stuff like that. at autograph signings, and it was a blessing to work with that lineage.
Now that was TV. And let me re-announce to everybody watching right now, I just got a text from Alan Kwee. He's on his way. So bear with us. Stay with us. Go and tell your friends and family. Everybody's watching right now. Share this on social media. We want a big party here as we relaunch our live episodes here on the Masters of Wrestling. This is where you become a true master right here. And fashionistas welcome, of course, here on Styling.
Hey, Suave, what are you thinking about all this turbulent news?
Who cares?
No, you've got to care, Bodacious
We
Suave.
care. We care. We got to tell everybody
that the ship is sinking.
Which ship? Are you talking about?
I'm talking about WWE, by the way.
Okay. Talking about
Which
WWE.
I don't want it to. I don't want it to. I said this to Amir today. I'm like, Amir, what's going to happen if, like, say they sell to Saudis and wrestling's dead? Like, what are we going to do? We have nothing to talk about. I mean, we're men. That's kind of like, it's in our veins. We watch it all the time, but I don't want it to, but it just seems like it's just going right down the staircase, you know? Nothing makes sense. I feel so stupid watching it, and I'm not even in the business. But
well, you know what? The fans speak loud. I think it's time for the fans to start interjecting and posting comments on their website and tell them they don't like what's going on.
Yeah.
Like what you said with the $20 tickets for Saudi Arabia up in the nosebleeds, that's fine. But there's going to be people that are going to buy it. And just to say, hey, look, I was there, put it on social media.
And they'll buy the merchandise, the T-shirts and the hats and all that stuff because they're still running off the loyalty from the past. Yeah. That's what they're doing. You know, they're going to stay loyal. And there's going to be a time where the fans are going to go, that's it, we're done. And they're going to either switch to AEW because they're putting out a product or whatever, you know, which is affordable.
I gotta ask you both right now. I'm going to pose this question first to you, Bodacious One. When was the last time you actually watched a full WWE event?
2017.
Okay.
2017, 2018. Unfortunately, once, like, my favorite wrestlers in that era were like Fandango, Luke Harper, Tyler Breeze. Like, I like the mid-card guys. I don't like WWE forcing down my throat, telling me who to cheer for. I can see talent and right. And I like the mid-carders because they're trying and just not getting the shot they deserve. Like, that's just what I like. But then, you know, they got fizzled out, and so then I just turned it off. I'm like, I can't do this.
Okay, so you're 2017. That was a good time. Our dear buddy Jinder Mahal was around at that time. I believe when he became world champion, that was around that time.
Another Canadian, yes.
Yes, another Canadian. Okay, Rico, when was the last time you watched a full WWE event?
I don't know. I can't. Okay. I don't watch it because I can call it.
Right.
That's you know, and I'm like, okay, and I'm sitting next to my fiance going, yeah, this is going to happen. This is going to happen, and it happens.
Yes.
You know, why should I be able to call it? You should be able to surprise me, and that's what you should be shooting for. You know, I know I was never going to become more than a mid-card guy because, you know, that's who I was. I was a supporting cast. You know, it wasn't until the Adrian Street character that I was in semi-main events. You know, sometimes during television, I'd come out twice. I'd start the evening, you know, with the first show or first match, and then I'd come out with Billy and Chuck.
Yeah. You guys carry on. I'm just sending Alan the link here for us today. So just he's about to join us here. So you guys continue on while I send this over to Kwee.
Rico, what do you think of like the salaries given out to these wrestlers today when they only have to work one day a week, really? Well, no, I guess two, Monday and Friday, right?
Well, It's a different time.
But do you look back and be like, damn it, like, I could have had all those zeros in my bank account? No?
Nah, I never went into wrestling because of money. I went into wrestling because I love the business. I got hooked on the business, and after my 3-year rookie contract, I asked Vince for $1,000 a week raise, which is only $52,000 a year. And he told me no, which was a slap in my face. And I went, well, if I'm not worth that, you're not worth having me.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that get in for a lot of different reasons. It's funny because obviously we love professional wrestling, the three of us that you see on your screen right here. I'm sure all our viewers do too. We want to preserve its integrity and whatnot. But sadly, in this new age we live in, I think there are a lot of guys and women that are getting into the business just for 15 minutes of fame, just to get a quick snapshot and post something on Instagram like a knucklehead.
To stepping stone.
Or a stepping stone because they want to go to Hollywood, to Tinseltown. All right.
I already had my 15 minutes of fame. I had American Gladiators. I wasn't interested in fame. I was interested in the business. I loved the business. I was a stuntman. I played Batman. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, how high can you go? I won a French competition as an American.
Yeah.
I went in because I love the business. I love the acting. I love good against evil, and I was evil when I came out, but being a paramedic, a police officer, a bodyguard, and an insurance investigator, that's my life. 34 years of it. Yeah. So I love to protect people. I help people, but they saw me and told me to be a heel. Okay, I'll be a heel. And you just turn it on.
But you did it in a good way because, again, I've heard guys, that play heels and they want to stay heel all the time and they want to be mean to people even after the show's over. To me, that's a lack of creativity. You can still play the heel, but be kind to fans at the same time. There is a way to do it.
Yeah, and I told you, even when I was a heel as the stylist, I would go out to my car and there was, I don't know how many people, but a lot of people out there wanting autographs and wanting pictures. Well, okay, I was a heel in the show, but I'm not a heel in real life.
Right.
So I signed every autograph I could. I took every picture I could, because that's who pays my paycheck is the fans. And that's where I think TKO and Saudi Arabia and all this stuff is losing or forgetting who bankrolls them. Yeah. It's the fans. You got to deliver a product and a product that is exciting, and right now you're just going, I don't care about the fans. We're going to deliver this, like it or not. And we're going to charge you this, like it or not. It's going to catch up to them.
It all comes from ahead. Any viewers out there, you got your super stickers, your super chats. If you want to ask questions, if you want to engage in our conversation here, use your super stickers and your super chats on YouTube. Alan will be joining us shortly here. Kwee from WCW. It's going to be a meeting of the minds here. The fashionista, the stylist himself, Rico Costantino, meeting Kwee from WCW for the first time. And it's live right here. Breaking news right here on Style in the Podcast. But yeah, you're right. I mean, TKO, it all stems from the top. I mean, I don't know how this Nick Khan ever got himself into a position of authority in WWE. I don't know. I don't think he ever wrestled. I don't think he ever wrote a TV show. I mean, you know what I mean? There's prerequisites to come, like Vince Russo, our dear buddy Vince Russo says, he was a writer. So he understands the basic fundamentals of writing a story because wrestling is a TV show. It is a TV show. It's not a sport. It is a TV show. And Vince Russo understands how to write it. These guys now, I said it the other day, they're booking WWE as if it was a UFC contest or an MMA fight. That's what it looks like, for real. That's what it looks like.
And that's where James Cornette was so incredible.
Mm-hmm.
He developed storylines each show.
Yeah.
You know, he had a story that he wanted to tell, and then he would go back to the wrestlers and say, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. And the matches led up to the main event, which, you know, even as small as some things in OVW as St. Teresa's, we had maybe 95, 100 people in the audience, but they were all ecstatic about the storylines.
One of our fans, Rico, right here, an individual by the name of Magic Crazy. It's an interesting name there. First time hearing him being called James Cornette. I remember him always being called James E. Cornette in WWF back in the mid '90s. There, what a brilliant line.
That was his James E. Cornette. Yeah, the manager.
He was brilliant back in the days. Bodacious One, you've got a little bit of breaking news for us that came out. Something to do with Sting, I believe.
Oh yeah, he had a dark match on AEW.
Not Sting, his son, right?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know his name. Steve Borden Jr. maybe. But yeah, which, you know, good for him. Good for him. But when I thought it was maybe surprising that WWE didn't take a look at him. But who knows? Maybe they did and he refused. But anyway,
well,
if he has a start in wrestling, good for him, and I hope it works out.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. If he emulates his father, and if he dresses like Sting, or if he's just going to go with a totally different look. I hope he does not become generic like everybody else in AEW.
Right. Don't ride the coattails.
Yeah. Rico, what do you think? I mean, second generation, third generation, that must be hard, right? Like, how do you develop your own identity? Because you don't want to be, you're going to be compared to your father or mother right off the bat.
Randy Orton.
Yeah.
That's right there. Randy Orton was nothing like Cowboy Bob.
Very true.
Randy Orton was Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm. So we could also point to Dustin Rhodes. He was not like his. Well, he began.
It took time.
It took time, but it took the genius of Vince McMahon to create Goldust for him to take off.
Yeah.
So we can't really say that was Dustin because that was Vince's idea.
Does Vince like these characters?
Does Vince like? What do you mean? What like larger than life characters?
Well, maybe like the flamboyant-ish characters.
I think that's all that should be in wrestling, period. Because at the end of the day, right? Here's the thing, and I want to break it down to our fans here, our loyal viewers here. When you watch Stranger Things, everybody knows that I'm a fan of Stranger Things. I've said it to you, Bodacious One.
Don't know why.
Please. I've said it to you, Rico. Okay. I switch on Stranger Things to be entertained. All right. It's very entertaining. Very good, graphics, very good costumes, design. Stop shaking your head there, Bodacious One.
Just call me. I'll entertain you.
Whatever it is.
Wow.
Roddy Piper, They Live, right? When we turn these things on, it's extravagant. It's explosive. So why the heck? It's common sense. Wrestlers should be that way. They should not all look like the Carpenters from the mid-'90s because that's what they look like now. Am I wrong?
Well, since I haven't watched, I can't give an opinion, but there's nothing out there that makes me want to watch, or else I'd watch it. Yeah. It looks like cookie cutter things. They're just pressing out cookie cutters and they're trying to reinvent the wheel. Let people be who they need to be, and somebody who's real young is not going to have life experience. That's where I count when I debuted at 40 and I got into wrestling at 38 and a half. I had a lot of life experience.
Yeah.
So I knew how to connect with the audience, you know, whether I was dishing out punishment or selling. See, I think the last few matches I watched, they're doing a lot more with selling and they're slowing it down. That's a plus, you know, and making the moves count where they're not doing lucha libre.
Right. But that being said, Rico, Bodacious, I want to bring you in on this one. Do you think, because I know what my opinion is, and you know that one counts.
Here we go.
So, do you think that WWE or AEW, anybody like that, should pay any attention to anybody under 30? My opinion, no. Because you said it right there, Rico. When you came into the business, you were a well-adjusted adult. You already knew who you were. Because let's face it, most people don't even figure out who they are until they're like 35. For real, right? Is that you, Matthew?
Oh, hell yeah. And only like 3 years ago, I finally hit maturity.
Right. So what's the point of hiring young people? So what if they can do 10 million flips? We've seen it a million times. This doesn't make them special. So do you think they should hire people that are a little bit more mature? Rico, I'm going to pose that to you.
Well, depending how long they were in the business. So this offsets. Okay, I was only in the business 8 months, had 12 matches, and I got called up.
Right.
Okay, but I was old enough where I had life experience. So I kind of knew what I was doing and knew what was expected of me. Been through many jobs. Now, if you're going to say don't hire anybody under 30, depends what they look like. Depends what kind of athlete they are. And I'm not going to say that you're not going to get a 24-year-old that is all of a sudden understands. You know, there's going to be those people that stand out that you got to push.
Yeah.
You know, just to bring somebody up because they went through so many indies and you're going to give them a shot, you know. One person I think of right off the top of my head is Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Mordecai?
Yeah. Yep. Great character.
Okay. Well, he was a great character, but they didn't push him. He was known as Seven in OVW.
Yeah.
And they called him up as Mordecai. And I think his ideas and Vince's ideas were totally different. Mm-hmm. I mean, he could have taken that character to the moon.
Yeah, he could have. I mean, him and the Undertaker feud, yeah, it would have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Was it Taker that squashed it, or am I just assuming? I don't know.
I don't know.
One of our fans did write in as we were talking there, and I do want to clarify this because our dear buddy, my tag team partner on the cafe, Rene Dupree, was 19 when he came into WWE. Now, but again, you're talking almost 25 years ago. The world was very, very, very different. We didn't have social media.
But Rene was extra talented.
Plus,
he had a lineage.
Like 10, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing it. So he understood the business. Yeah. He has, you know, he's a part of a lineage.
Right.
Just like Rikishi's lineage, Rock's lineage, all that ties in. Mm-hmm. So he was coached.
Right.
That's why I said there's always exceptions to the rule, you know, to see where they came from. Now you got somebody like me who never wrestled, and then I pick it up and I only go 8 months, 12 matches, and then I go to developmental, and then I excel.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but they had a problem with my age up top.
I think there's different extenuating circumstances. You know, obviously my other friend Chris Masters, he was younger. But again, the reason I say this is because it was a different world. We've often heard people grew up faster. We did. They did, you know. And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, we have been joined now. Alan Kwee Funk is with us, so I'm going to bring him into the stage. And there he is, right there, Kwee himself.
How's it going, man?
Going good, brother. How you been?
Shoot, dude. Sorry I'm so late, bro. My bad.
It's all right, man. It's all right. That's, you know what? It's good things come to those who wait.
That's right. That's right. How you guys doing?
Good. Yourself?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
So this is it. This is the moment they've all been waiting for, Kwee, because you've got Rico with his flamboyancy and your flamboyancy. So, Rico, you got a question for Kwee? I know you do.
Kwee.
Yes, sir. First off, let me say, hey, man, I hadn't seen you in forever, man.
I know.
How long has it been?
It's been forever. Oh, my God.
Probably about the time I got released back in 2003, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow, that's been a while, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Rico, you were always a good dude, man. Glad you're doing well.
Well, thank you, sir. I just want to ask, when you were in WCW doing the Kwee thing, were you told to do that, or did you choose to do that?
Well, I was never told. I was kind of pushed towards it, and if I hadn't done it, I probably wouldn't have been on TV or did anything, to be honest with you.
Okay.
No, I guess I was told, and I kind of did it on my own because I really didn't have a choice. I guess that's the correct answer.
Okay. See, I was wondering because I was told.
Yeah.
In WWE.
Well, I mean, you know how the business is. I mean, I guess in so many words, I was told, basically, but I never really looked at it that way.
And when they told you or suggested, or persuaded, that's a stylist term, persuaded you to do the Kwee, how did you evolve it? How did you take it mentally and evolve that character to what it was?
Well, I looked at it as a positive thing that I was going to get to do TV and stuff, and work with people that I was wanting to work with.
Right.
I was kind of handcuffed on the gimmick, really, because when they first gave me this gimmick back in 2099 when I started this, it wasn't the LGBTQ stuff, and stuff wasn't as prevalent then as it is now. So it was kind of kind of walking a line where, they flat out told me, if you get gay chance, if you get any, someone call you a fag or anything, you're instantly off TV. Boom. So from the get-go, I was kind of handcuffed. So I think, considering all that, I actually handled the character as good as I could have. My work spoke for itself. I always had a decent body,
which was awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But I relied on my work to carry me to help the gimmick, which it did. Not saying I was the greatest worker in the world, but I had a good work ethic.
Okay, you don't have to say it. I'll say it. You're a great worker.
Well, I appreciate that. I do. That means a lot when it's coming from somebody with a little bit of credentials.
Wow. Well, our time was different, but we had the same idea. Another question, may I ask you?
Yeah. Ask me whatever you want, brother.
Okay. Did creative help you with your character?
As sad as it is, not really. They kind of, when they give it to me, they said, he told me to watch Chris Kattan, that was the Mango on Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you remember that character.
Yeah.
Vince Russo told me to go get a VHS of the Saturday Night gimmick, the Mango. And he said, I kind of want you to do that. And that's basically the only thing that I was really, told. So I and I wanted to do a lot of my own stuff, but they wouldn't let me. Like I said, because I was kind of handcuffed, my hands were tied, and they didn't want to get any negative feedback from it. So I did the best I could with what I had at the time, and no regrets as far as that goes.
Yeah, then you and I are in the same boat. when they told me to go from the stylist with Billy and Chuck, and to the Adrian Street homage, and they didn't give me any help at all. I asked Vince, how far do you want me to take this? And Vince said, strap a rocket to your ass and take off. I'll tell you when to stop.
Yeah.
So everything came from me.
I never even was told that.
Yeah.
Was it Vince Russo that was given? He was in charge of creative when you were there, right, Alan?
Yeah, that's correct. Vince, it was kind of a weird time when I started with WCW. There was so much going on. Bischoff was in control, then he wasn't, then Russo was, and then they both were, and then Vince is out, Bischoff's back in. Crazy times.
Wow.
It was just nuts. Different people, Kevin Sullivan, Kevin Nash, Vince is back, Eric's out, Eric's back, Vince is out. It was just the backstage in WCW. I couldn't ask for a better backstage as far as the talent and the friends I had backstage. But the management was, nobody really had any direction. Nobody knew what was going on. Stuff was just thrown at you. You throw so much crap into a fan and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Wow. You had it harder than me.
Well, I mean, I got to work with a lot of good guys, don't get me wrong, but, working with Billy and Chuck, and I know Chuck really well. Him and I still speak, and, him and I come up through the power plant. Chuck's one of the nicest guys you'll meet in the wrestling business. I'm sure you can back that up.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck and I were similar. We came, from blue collar families, worked hard. Chuck was in the service, something I never did, which, I have a lot of respect for our servicemen. Working with Chuck and Billy, and I've worked with Billy a little bit in, Lucha Libre USA when I was there, and he come for a short time. So I got to work with him there, and, just passing by, him and I knew a lot of the same people, and I couldn't imagine what it'd be like to work with those two at the same time, having some TV time. And you really got a lot of, you guys got a big push there for a while.
Yeah, we did. And it led up to the wedding, which, my gosh, people didn't know whether I was gay or not. All I know, I was an image consultant. And I thought up this big scheme in the storyline of the wedding.
Yeah.
Idea? No, that came from Stephanie and have Eric dressed up as the minister.
Yeah.
And stuff. And he did it all day. Vince brought Eric to the arena, all makeup, everything done. And Vince served him from the catering, walked him around, introduced him. Vince kayfabed everybody except the people who were involved.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, so nobody knew it was
like
Eric.
That really intrigues me when they can keep something like that a secret with the internet stuff,
Oh yeah, I mean, because back when I did it, SmackDown was taped on Tuesday, showed on Thursday, so all the dirt sheets already spoiled it.
Yeah.
If that was live, that'd have been the best kayfabe since Hulk Hogan and the two identical referees.
Oh yeah. That was probably the biggest one back when I was growing up.
Yeah. Wasn't that? Yeah. Oh no, you were at the first Survivor Series, weren't you, Alan?
I was at the first Survivor Series and the second one. They were in Richfield Coliseum, which is, I don't know if it's tore down now or they were going to make it into a jail or something. But the second Survivor Series is where you can see the Hulk shirt that I caught.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the actual Hulk Hogan shirt that he signed for me. Yeah. That I caught when I was, 16 years old or 17 years old. I graduated. I was a senior in high school.
That's it. Did you know you wanted to be a wrestler right there, Alan?
Well, I knew I wanted to be a wrestler like in 8th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you start?
It was Rocky III is when I saw Hogan the first time. I was like, dude, this guy's amazing. Like I need to be this guy.
Thunderlips.
Oh, dude, that was a great character, right?
Yeah, that was a humongous character.
And he kind of did that really when he was a heel.
Yeah, he did it when he was a heel. After he did Rocky III, he beat the Iron Sheik for the title, and Hulkamania was born.
Yeah. January 23rd, 1984, but I can't remember what year that was.
No.
Well, maybe I can remember.
How did you start, Alan? How did you start in the business?
Well, so I met this guy. I don't really like to use his name, not because I don't like the guy, but he was so arrogant and he thought he was
You're not talking about me, are you?
No, not you.
Okay.
Anyway.
You must be talking about the master.
No, there was a guy in Ohio that I met. Well, I saw an article in the paper, a local paper. I'm from Alliance, Ohio, so it's not very big. There was an article in a paper talking about this guy, and he had a personalized license plate, WWF, and so he put in this story like you thought he was like The Rock, in his heyday, and or Hulk Hogan or anybody like of that caliber. So I'm like, this guy really knows how to BS. I need to meet this guy to try to help me out. Because I didn't know this, but I had an image in my mind what the business was kind of like. You had to portray certain things, and how the business was or is. I'm not really sure how the business is anymore because I've been out of it so long. But at that time, it was like, if you act like you can do this or whatever, people are going to believe you. You got to act like you're supposed to be there, right? So I met this guy. He had a wrestling ring set up in a old elementary school in Robertsville, Ohio. And he was a volunteer fireman. The volunteer fireman owned this building, so he was able to put his ring in here. They let him put his ring up there. So he was actually nice enough to let me go train in this ring with another buddy of mine, Greg Anderson, which we came up in the independent scene, like in West Virginia, PA, Ohio, and stuff like that. So that's basically how I got my foot in the door. I learned how to work a little bit. I'd go to some indie shows. I actually met Mosh and Thrasher from the Headbangers in PA, and I met Virgil and, a few other older guys that you meet along the way that were kind of like, I don't know if you did indies after the WWE, but I did. So kind of reminds me of that kind of situation where you get to meet these guys that were on TV and you look up to them, obviously, and I had a lot of respect for the business. Maybe not so much anymore because I know what the business is like.
Well,
not in the negative way, but just in a, personally, I actually wasn't made for the wrestling business. I'm too nice and I don't like to stab people in the back. And there's a lot of going on, man.
There is a lot of that. It's funny because Rico, go ahead.
Okay. After Vince didn't give me a raise, I left, and the next day I was in All Japan.
Yeah,
and I won the tag
we got that in
titles.
common too. I worked for All Japan as well when I got out of WWE.
Yep, and I only did it a month.
Yeah,
and I went, I'm 44 years old. This is not going to secure my future. So I sent back their tag belt, and I went back into law enforcement.
Oh, well, see, now you're a lot better than a lot of other people would have just kept that belt. Which I don't think you would have.
No, I had a replica made, but
I actually know a guy that has both the All Japan Tag Team belts, and they're the legit ones.
Yeah,
Bodacious Suave. Do you have any questions for Alan? Because I've seen you've been studying up there.
Yeah, first off, Kwee, big fan. I remember you. I remember you from WCW. I was just a young kid, 8, 9, 10 years old. But
awesome.
I do remember you. That the hair, you stood out.
Yeah.
The pink jacket. Yeah, love it. To this day, I love it.
Yeah, I wore that out in Nashville one night with Sean O'Hare and Chuck Palumbo, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And before I was on TV and people really knew who I was, you know what I mean? So I got all kinds of comments about that, but I appreciate you saying that.
And
I knew Sean O'Hare from OVW.
Yeah. Sean was a good dude.
Oh my gosh, he was a great dude.
Funny guy.
Yep. And he went out with you and Chuck with a pink coat.
Oh, dude, Sean, I legitimately think Sean O'Hare was scared of me. Only for the simple fact, back in the day, dude, I was a little nuts.
Oh, okay.
And not that I was mean, but at the time at the power plant, that's how you had to be. You like with Buddy Lee Parker and Paul Orndorff, dude, and Paul Orndorff, rest his soul, was a good dude, but he's bipolar. He was bipolar, and Paul was mean. So Paul always told me I reminded him of him, but I did that on purpose to try to do that. That was my goal. Because when you're in there, Rico, you know how it is. You're trying to keep your job. You're doing whatever you can to prolong what you got going on, and you think it's going to last forever, but you kind of don't know. But you kind of tell yourself it's going to last forever. So when it does end, you're still like, shoot, I thought this was going to last forever.
That's why when Vince didn't give me a raise, I hit the ground running and went right back to what I know. Law enforcement.
Well, let me tell you a story real quick why I thought Sean O'Hare was afraid of me. I'm not saying he was afraid of me because he was a trained MMA fighter and he was a little tougher than me, but I think I had him fooled a little bit. But he knew I was so nuts, and there wasn't nobody really walked over me when push come to shove in the power plant. So he was kind of an outsider coming in. But one day, I don't know if you remember this guy named Danny Fakiri come out of the power plant. He was a big Paul Orndorff guy. He was a All-American from Arizona State wrestler. He was kind of a shoot. He was legit. He could shoot with you. So Paul, and that's why Paul Orndorff loved this guy. So one day he pissed me off. We're sitting there at a show in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, at an independent show at the Armory.
Who pissed you off?
What's that?
Who pissed you off?
Danny Fakir.
Okay.
So I stood up. I walked over to him. He just opened up a protein bar. As he went to take a bite of it, I grabbed it out of his hand, started eating it. I sat down and ate the whole thing right in front of me. Didn't say a word. Shadow Harris over there going, this dude must be a little off his freaking rocker. And he knew Danny was a shooter and knew he could fight. And he knew if I did that to him, I might know how to fight. Which I do know how to fight, but maybe not like these two. But I don't put up with any crap.
Right.
And when you're backstage with the boys, you either get known as someone that's going to take crap and you're going to get walked on, or you're known as someone that ain't taking nobody's crap. And I was kind of affiliated with Paul Orndorff a little bit. And so Sean right then and there, he come over to me a little bit later. I think we actually drove together. And he goes, you know what, Alan? He goes, if you were a trained MMA fighter, I'd be scared to death of you. and he wasn't kidding. And it kind of made me feel good because, at least I had a guy that knew how to fight full. So maybe that would have helped me out. Maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know.
So that's why you could get away with everything you got away with Sean O'Hare. With the car, you were telling us on the cafe with the trucks and the peeing. He didn't like that.
Yeah, that might have had something to do with it. I can't speak for Sean because, he's no longer with us. But you know what? It might have. I never really thought about it. But not that I want people to be afraid of me, but, you do what you got to do. You know what I mean? When you
want people to respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect.
And how it is in Japan in the same way. I got a lot of respect in Japan because, I was taught when you go over there to Japan, you get stiff, you stiff somebody back harder. They stiff you, you stiff them back harder until you get respect. And that's the way it is.
I learned that the first week because I was doing the American version and I was getting stiff by Muda. And I'm like, hey, I'm not liking this because it hurts.
Yeah.
And then because I've done martial arts since I was 12.
Yeah.
And my spot came up and I let Muda have it with everything.
Yeah,
and
good.
then
That's how you're supposed to do it, man.
Afterwards, he goes, oh, Rico-san. So sorry,
Yeah.
Rico-san. And then the next time we met in the match, he was totally not stiff, but not slack. He laid him in, but not to where it rang my bell.
Yeah. But so you'll appreciate. I mean, dude, Muda is a legend, right? Like he's like the Hulk Hogan in Japan of the, when Hulk Hogan was in his heyday here. Like people have so much respect for this guy, but and you can attest to this. when I worked him in a main event one time. And I couldn't believe it. Kaya comes up to me and goes, dude, you're working Muda tonight in the main event. And I said, no way. Like, I didn't believe it. I said, there's no way. And so when I went to Muda in his locker room, and I don't know, and I'm sure you've probably dealt with the same things. If you're working, you know, for whoever in the States, you're working with, and I've never worked with Stone Cold. That's why I'll use Hogan, or maybe Macho Man would have been an exception. But when you're working with these top guys, especially like Hogan and stuff, you're not getting crap. They're going to flat out tell you, I'm getting my shit in. You know, you do very minimal. And that's just the way it was. So in Japan, the 100% opposite. I go to the locker room. I ask Muda, I go up to Muda. I say, hey, Muda, yes, you know, whatever you want to do, Muda. Whatever. He's like, no, Funkster, no. Me, Muda, people know Muda. I get you over. We get you over, Funkster. He goes, you do all special moves in Muda. I do nothing. I sell for the Funkster. Yes, that's how it goes. And I was like, no way. Like, I was dumbfounded. Wow. You know, I'm like, dude, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this is actually happening. So to go from the States to that and already have respect by Muda, you know, from all the stuff that I've done with All Japan up to this point, dude, that makes you feel like $1 million. It makes you feel like you're doing something right, you know?
Yeah, that's incredible right there. Hey, viewers, if you want to ask a question, hit those super stickers, hit those super chats, and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Sorry, Rico.
No. What did you think of the Japan audience compared to an American audience?
Yeah. I was already kind of smartened up to it by Buddy Lee Parker Sarge from the power plant. And that was kind of part of the training. They taught you everything. Well, Sarge tried to, and if he liked you, you could ask him anything and he'd try to smarten you up. So he'd already smartened me up to how the crowds reacted. We already, at this point, I've already watched, tons of, All Japan tapes, and stuff. And I saw how the crowds were. So I was and I noticed that stuff because of the stuff Buddy Lee Parker, which is Sarge from the power plant, taught me. And, stuff like that means a lot. At the time, you don't realize how important that stuff is that he's teaching you until you actually get in the situation.
Yeah, they're like nuggets of knowledge.
Oh, dude, yeah. And,
I wasn't smartened up.
Yeah.
So I went over there and I was doing my stuff and they were quiet. Yeah. And then I did a big move and they're like, whoa! And then they sat on their hands.
Yeah, but you know what? You might be overdoing it there. Sometimes they just stood up and go, whoo. And then they
I remember when I was with WWE, I went out the first night as a heel against Stevie Richards.
Okay.
And Stevie won, and the audience were yelling at me, Mo Miyagi. And I didn't know what that was. I've never wrestled in Japan.
Yeah.
So I called for a lockup with Stevie and I lock up with him. I said, what are they saying? Because Stevie's been in Japan.
Yeah.
I said, what are they saying? He said, they're calling you a fag. And then I broke the lockup and I'm yelling at and shushing the fans and I'm giving them crap.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he gives me the Stevie driver. And he leaves, and the fans start clapping for me to get up.
Yeah.
And then once I get up, they're applauding and standing, and I'm getting walked off, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't understand this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Mo Miyagi means. So I go to one of the lighting guys, the construction people.
Yeah.
And I said, what does Mo Miyagi mean? He goes, oh, that means a sideburns. I said, what? They're yelling sideburns? And he goes, yeah. So I walk up and I see Stevie sitting at the catering and I smack him in the back of the head. And I said, they're not calling me a fag. They're yelling sideburns. He goes, you idiot. What makes you think I speak Japanese?
That's a great story. Yeah, that sounds like something Stevie would do.
Yeah. And then because we did Tokyo 2 nights. So the next night, Dean Malenko turns me into a face, and I go against Val Venus, who was at that time Chief Morley for Vince.
Yeah.
And then I go over, and the place erupted. But I mean, my gosh, I was just.
Val was great to work with, wasn't he? I worked.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I loved working Val, Maven, Stevie, Tommy Dreamer. I mean, Spike. Those were my mainstays, and we all had good matches.
Yeah, all those guys were down when we went down to OVW, and I used to see you there on Sundays when we did the TV down there, and I was up there with Les Thatcher at the HWA.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got to work with Val a lot up there, man. He was great.
Yeah, Jimmy Cornette.
Yeah,
he put all 3 heavyweight titles on me at the same time.
Wow.
He put the OVW, Power Pro, and Heartland.
Wow.
So I was really traveling.
Yeah.
That area,
Alan,
and then I got.
Oh, sorry, Rico. Go
ahead. Go.
I was going to ask Alan, because the differences between WCW and WWE, which did you prefer overall?
Well, I can't say anything good about WWE, to be honest with you, but I don't want to say anything bad about them because I wasn't there long enough to really have an opinion, to be honest with you.
How long were you there?
Well, I mean, I was never on the main roster.
Right.
I was always, getting booked as an extra on the show and never getting even a dark match. I was with OVW, HWA, kind of, I guess you could say, for
yeah, because they did the television taping at the same place.
Yeah. So, and we got to work with, I never got to work with you, but I worked with Cena, some of the Basham brothers and stuff like that down there. And I hate to say it, but I can't remember everybody I used to work with down there.
Rob Conway, Nick Dinsmore.
Oh yeah, Dinsmore,
Damaja, Doug Basham, Danny Basham.
Yeah, and they were great guys. And Batista was down there. I never got to work with him, but he was always, a presence around.
Yeah.
So when you were there, they brought your contract over from WC. So when they bought out WCW, your contract just rolled over.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Actually, when it rolled over, they actually gave me a raise. Okay. But it was just it wasn't a great deal. But it was something. I'm not complaining by any means. I was getting paid. I was still doing what I wanted to do. I had a lot of faith and a lot of optimism that stuff was going to start rolling, which it never did. But I try to tell people this is how I equate it to. So you got WCW, WWE, which Vince didn't like WCW. In my opinion, he wanted to buy it. He wanted to dismantle it, which is exactly what he did. And that was, in my opinion, back then before all this even happened, when it started happening. So I tell there people were like, well, you were on TV, you did all this and that, and why didn't you just go to WWE and get on TV? And like it seems like it's kind of your fault, and you know how people are. Yeah. Which I don't take anything of that personally, but listen, it's like going in the NFL. Go in the NFL. Cut the teams in half. Cut the teams down to 8 teams. See how many people are left. Yeah. And then where are all these people going to go? You know what I mean? It is the same situation. You got 2 major companies in the States. You cut one totally out. So you only got so many spots for so many people.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I was hoping that my work was going to speak for itself and keep me a job. But I don't want to say this, but it's the truth. The cream doesn't always rise to the top, and hard work doesn't always pay off. And
politics.
A lot of politics. And not saying I didn't get respect from certain guys. And, I did from Rico because, he already told me when I got on here, I was hoping my work could speak for itself and, my work ethic, my body, and, but it didn't. And, for whatever reason, maybe it was God's plan, which, now that I see it, it's fine to me. I'm totally content with it.
Yeah. I mean, you still were part of professional wrestling at its peak, and no one can ever take that away from you.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I'm not, I don't, like I said, I don't really want to say anything negative, but it's the truth. And, whether, if it helps me get it off my chest or whatever, I'm not complaining any bit.
That's what our viewers want, is the truth.
Yeah.
And believe me, Alan, you're not complaining. You're just stating.
Yeah.
I'm
just stating the facts. It's
that's all you can do.
It's a fact that I don't like, but it's something I have to live with, and it's just the way it is.
We're heading potentially into the same direction, Alan, because recently we've heard about this purchase. I think Netflix is purchasing Warner Brothers Discovery. Of course,
I think we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, AEW are part of that. So what does this mean for AEW? AEW have only got 2 years left on their contract with Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah.
And at this rate, their viewership, did I tell you, Rico? Some of their recent viewerships were like only in the 200,000s. That's it. So it looks like they're going to be axed, which again is not good for pro wrestling, because you're going to have the same thing happen as what happened in 01.
Well, you know what? You got to have a little bit of faith in the system, because I never would have thought TNA, Impact, and stuff would still be around.
No.
Because I started that. I was one of the TNA originals.
Right, that's right.
Me and Lenny Lane, and with the rest of the people. And, we were just hoping it was something, it might build up. And then when it started getting, roll, and then when that Panda Energy or whatever took over, Dixie Carter and stuff, it started getting a little bit of leeway, and they were getting some good guys on there, but it's still around. Is my point. So you never know. You never know.
That's true. You never do know. WWE have got their claws in it as well now. So they're pushing it a little bit more. And it did rebound incredibly, because, even a few years ago, TNA was pretty much like done, right? Am I right? Bodacious One?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was pretty much done. It's funny because, are you familiar with Frankie Kazarian? Rico, I know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he took over EWF heavyweight champion when I got called up. It was a vacated title.
So Frankie, it was interesting. So Frankie came over to my place. I did an interview with him. Gosh, this was at the beginning of 2003. He just left AEW because he said he wanted to get out of there because he wasn't going in the direction he wanted, and he wanted to take a bet on himself, were his exact words. So he went to TNA.
I'm going to grab me a bottle of water real quick.
Yeah. So he goes to TNA, and now look at him. Isn't he the world champion, Bodacious One?
Don't know, to be honest. Not familiar.
Yeah, well, he is apparently, I think the last I checked, he's the world champion right now at TNA.
Frankie Kazarian?
Frankie Kazarian. Look it up.
I will do that for you.
So and the funny thing is he's just now, he seems to be like hot as he's ever been. And I think Frankie's like 47 now.
Yeah, he's climbing.
He's a young man. I debuted at 40 and went to 44.
But that goes back to my point. Alan, how old were you when you got your WCW contract?
27.
27. Okay, so almost 30. But again, we age different. We grew up faster. I was just saying this earlier, Alan.
Yeah.
27 in the 90s was not like 27 today.
No.
So,
27 today is like 57, these kids.
Yeah.
I work with these guys, dude. This guy's 27 years old, and he's like, I can't, how it is when you get older. And I said, how old are you? He said, 27. I said, dude, when you're 54, you might not be alive. He goes, well, how old are you? I said, 54. He goes, holy crap, you're 54.
I'm 64.
Yeah, you look great, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Listen, Master, Bodacious, Alan, I've got to go because I've got 4 horses to feed and 3 Great Danes and 15 chickens. Okay. I have a new life.
So you eat your own eggs now?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that coop to fridge is better than store-bought.
Don't put them in the fridge. You don't need to refrigerate them eggs.
Nope. We eat them. I've got 12 dozen in reserve.
Nice. Yeah. My brother's got chickens, so I get them off him, and I got 3 or 4 egg dealers,
Yeah. Well, Alan, thank you so much for coming here.
It was good seeing you, buddy. I'm glad you're doing well.
Great seeing you. Yep. I got to get back on the ranch and do the chores, but I dressed up stylish for you.
Yeah, you can't feed the horses with that shirt on.
No, I've got to change in my ranch hand dudes.
Nice. Well, it was great time with you, buddy. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it too. All of you, Bodacious, Master. Yeah. I'm sorry I had to leave, but continue.
Sorry I was late, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rico. We'll catch you next week on Styling, Rico.
There we go.
All right.
See you later, buddy.
Yeah. So Alan, yeah, but obviously for the viewers here, for the benefit, you told me about your carnivore diet, which I've got to get you my labs and all that, and I want to talk to Lenny as well about this because he's a nurse practitioner, right?
You want me to send Lenny a link and see if he'll jump on here?
Yeah, send him the link, see if he'll jump on. There you go. We got a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. So potentially Lenny Lane from WCW will also be joining us in TNA.
So Amir, you're correct. Kazarian is the champion. I just got confirmation from a friend, actually. So it's
from a friend.
Yeah, a friend just is watching the podcast and just sent me a text and said it's confirmed.
Okay, I was just curious if it was my Uncle Paul because I've been trying to get him today and he has not responded to my text thus far.
Big surprise. But you know who did respond to me? This is for you, Alan.
Yeah.
Jason Sensation says hi to you.
Oh yeah, tell him I said hi. Yeah, he was on Renee's show with us a couple times.
Yeah. So I was talking to him today, so he said, "Oh, tell Alan I say hi." So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Alan, would you go out with your hair like that, or was that just?
Yeah. That's why they picked me as a character.
That's great.
Vince Rizzo and Terry Taylor saw me and Mikey Sanders walking in the airport, and they're like, "Wait a minute, you actually wear your hair like that?" I said, "Hell yeah! If I'm going to work the gimmick, I'm going to wear it out." I mean,
so I think you had a girlfriend at the time, right? But you must have been a lady.
I was married.
Okay, but were you like women must have had their eyes on you?
You know what?
With confidence like that?
Yeah, they did. But I and you can ask Mike Sanders, which is one of my best friends in the wrestling business. You can ask Chuck Plumbo, Elix Skipper. You can ask all these guys if I ever cheated on my wife, and I already know the answer. They're going to tell you no. Because I took my marriage serious, and no way would I ever cheat on my wife. She ended up cheating on me, but you know what? That's on her.
Yeah, is that because of a TV gimmick you had? I remember you saying something. You had to kiss somebody on TV and like.
Yeah, I had. Well, the first one I had was BB, which was remember BB from WWE, Candy Dingman. Yeah, I had to kiss her. I had another girl that Mark. What's that?
Didn't you have Tori Wilson too?
I did kiss Tori Wilson, but she wasn't. She was with Shane Douglas. We were in a mixed match with me and Charmel. Paisley. So yeah, I had to kiss her. I actually called my wife.
It's a great story. Guys, it's a great story.
She told me if I ever had to kiss somebody again, I better call her and tell her.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah.
So I did we were in Canada. I called her and told her, I said, I got to kiss Tori Wilson tonight. She goes, no way. Because I mean, Tori Wilson's hot, bro. I don't care if you're gay or not. She's hot. So in the last time I saw Tori, which was at Flair's last match, and I spoke with her, she was still hot. So my wife's like, you're not kissing her. You're not doing it. When you get home, all your stuff's going to be thrown out in the front yard. There's no way you're kissing her. I said, I got to. Honestly, and I wasn't just saying that. I had to. They tell me I got to do it. I got to do it. I can't go in. I didn't have enough pull to go out and say, look, I'm not doing this. Yeah. So as petty as it sounds, I couldn't not do it. Yeah. Or petty as it sounds for my ex-wife or whatever. She got over it. But you know what? Maybe that's why she cheated on me. I don't know. Maybe she thought I was cheating on her because she used to accuse me all the time. So you know what they say? The people that accuse are the ones doing it.
How often did you get to see your wife, though? Because was your schedule as busy as the WWF back in the 90s?
No, it wasn't that bad. Trust me. There for a minute, yes, it was. But we were doing independence from like Thursday night till I was usually at one point, it wasn't very long at all. I might have been gone Thursday night, if not Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every other Wednesday.
Okay. Not too bad.
But that was very short-lived, maybe a couple weeks. And then after that, they started taping the Thunders after the Nitro, and then they stopped doing the Saturday nights altogether, so there was no Wednesday night tapings. So Pay-per-view wise, worst case scenario, if I did a house show on a Saturday night, I was going Saturday, Sunday, Monday, flew back home Tuesday. And sometimes it wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
If I didn't do a house show on Saturday, it was Sunday if we had a pay-per-view. If it wasn't a pay-per-view, I was gone Monday and Tuesday, and that was it.
Not bad at all.
No, but she had a fit. Hold on, let me finish. Let me ask Lenny. I sent him the link.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
And I'm sorry, I didn't send this text.
No worries.
My bad. So I'm trying to get Lenny on. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Vince Russo, because now Vince is back in the news. He's just gone over to JCW, right? Bodacious One, Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Oh, Juggalo, yeah. And Lenny's affiliated with those guys.
Oh, Lenny is?
Oh, Lenny's good buddies with him, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so but working with him back at the height of the WCW, how hands-on was Vince when he was there?
He was hands-on, but it was limited. Mm-hmm. And I only say limited is because maybe for me, maybe not for some other people, but I think it was all around the board because, we were new characters and he was trying to get us, over. Yeah. But like I said, my hands were tied. And he did take time and, try to do Vince stuff, I guess. I don't know what else to say. But it's weird. And I don't want to say anything bad about Vince, but at that point, it seemed to me like Vince was about Vince. Mm-hmm. Even when he was talking to you about you, he was still it was kind of like DDP. I can equate it to, because when you're talking to DDP, even if, he's trying to help you out with something, it's all about him. So, and that's kind of how it was, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
so
that makes sense.
I agree with what Kwee saying. And Amir, I don't know if you noticed, and Kwee helped me, if I'm wrong, but I was, like I said, 8, 9, 10 at the time. But Vince Russo was putting himself in storylines.
Oh,
so
yeah.
100%. So is that what you mean? Like he was still putting it like it's me, me, me.
Right? Yeah. And for example, I might say, Bodacious Suave, here's what we're going to do tonight. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be out there too, and I'm doing a spot. But we're going to try to get you, in here and this and that was, but then it's like, maybe, kind of watch my spot, see what you think, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. Whether they knew they were doing it or not, I don't know. But it seemed like they did.
Yeah, it seemed like, like I said, I think Vince Russo speaks with a mountain of wisdom today, the Vince Russo we hear today. Yeah. But looking back then, honestly, the thing he did, were you there when Hogan did the infamous pin on Jeff Jarrett at Bash?
Oh, yeah, that was at Bash at the Beach. Yeah, I was there.
Okay, I've always wanted to ask someone who was there, how real was that? Was that real?
Oh, it was real, unless they were freaking kayfabing everybody. Okay. I remember the whole day, bro.
Yeah.
It was a freaking nightmare backstage. You walking down the hallway, Vince running around, people running around with their head like a chicken with their heads cut off, trying to accommodate Hogan, dude, and rest his soul. But dude, he was hard to deal with, man. Mm-hmm. I remember talking to Mean Gene out back. He's like, dude, this is a shit storm, and it was like that all day, bro. Like they couldn't come up with nothing. Like there was no common ground. And not that I was in the room, but you could just see it. It was brutal. It was pulling teeth without Novocaine all day. And when all that stuff happened in the ring, dude, we're all just like, wow.
What did you think at that moment? Because as a fan, I think, obviously Matthew and I were both kids back then. But as a fan watching it, we were it was like shocked, dumbfounded, like beyond belief, because it's almost like that curtain, that veil was lifted that night.
Yeah, and it was a slap in the face to all the wrestling fans too. Not it was just all around bad for business, man. As they say.
Yeah, who did you guys point the finger at, even in your own heads? Was it Russo or was it Hogan?
Forget the shirt. Forget the shirt you have on your wall.
Well, here's what I try to do. just like when couples are fighting, you cannot get in the middle of a man and a woman arguing, a man and his wife, because you're always going to be the outsider. Even when two brothers are fighting, they could be breaking each other's noses, and you could try to help them out, and you're the a-hole.
Yeah,
you just stay out of it. I wasn't in the room. I didn't hear anything that was going on. I saw what was going on in between the doors when they were running around like idiots and yelling and screaming at each other. But I wasn't in the room. I don't know. I blame them both. I blame the whole situation on, dude, it's a business. You're making money. If you don't want to take a pin because you're that big of a prima donna or whatever the word you want to use, I got a hard time with that because I've never had a trouble with that. You're getting paid the same.
Yeah.
Like, how bad do you think it was going to hurt you to lose or win? Or I just don't see that kind of mentality, bro. I believe in everybody working together and getting everybody over. That's just me. And I think a lot of other guys are like that. It's like, dude, it's work. Like, who cares if you win or lose? Like, is it that big a deal?
No, exactly.
I never thought it was. I mean,
no.
To some fans, is it? Yeah, probably. But in the overall picture, especially with the internet, not that the internet was huge as it is now, but come on, dude.
I think it just exposed the business. I think that was ground zero.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because, as a fan, it was a bunch of horse crap, dude. Like, you feel slapped in the face. You feel like they didn't give a crap about you. Yeah, obviously, because they don't care what they do to see, for any fan at that point.
Well, even Tony Schiavone on broadcast, they had two broadcasters. I wasn't too fond of them. There were two guys with Schiavone at that time.
Was it Mark Madden? I'm trying to remember that show.
There was a heavy guy who was very outspoken and sarcastic.
Mark Madden.
Yeah. And because I used to like, obviously Bobby Heenan, Schiavone, and Mike Tenay. I thought they were
great. Yeah,
they were great.
Tenay was great too.
But even they said it. They said, "Oh, I think we've gone off script." They said it live on the air, and they said something like that. And I was like, "Okay, well, you just told us it's a script now."
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because
it was on the dark side of the ring. They show that clip. Like, I think one of them took their script on the thing and said, like, well, I think we've all been dumbfounded here. Like, they didn't know what to do.
Well, it's bad when that happens in the wrestling business, right?
Yeah. It's awful. Send in your super stickers, your super chat. If you want to ask us a question here, we're going to be on for a little bit longer here. Wait to hear back if we see maybe Lenny Lane will be joining us. We don't know. We will see. We'll hang on a little bit longer here with Alan. Alan, we can't go any further without talking about our faith, my friend, because that's one of the reasons we do all this. One of the reasons we do this, obviously, the Bodacious Suave and I. So let's talk a little bit about your faith. Did you just discover it in wrestling or after?
I don't know if you can see this. I got a weight plate here. It's like a 45-pound plate. Philippians. Hey, let me see if I can take it.
45?
That's a 45-pound plate, Bodacious Suave.
Well, this here. Okay, so it's from Shields of Strength. That recommends people, not that I'm going to get paid, but go to their website and check them out. So this is one side that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which is Philippians 4:13. And I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
See it or not?
I like that.
Yeah. Well, you can see it right there.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Or that's upside down, ain't it?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I wear this around my neck just as a daily reminder, Jesus. But so I got baptized when before me and my ex-wife got married, we got baptized together. Mm-hmm. And that was back in like 95, 96, maybe. Can't remember the exact day. So that's when I gave my life to Jesus Christ. But I never really talked about it much, especially in the wrestling business. Not because I was embarrassed or anything. It's just I was still trying to figure everything out.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So
actually, until my wrestling career started falling apart, that's when I drew closer to Jesus, because that's what got me through everything. And I was going through a lot of stuff then. my Doberman died. And, if you're an animal lover and you have a dog that dies, my wife was divorcing me. My Doberman died. My oldest sister, Vicky, just passed away. She had cancer. So when I get released from WWE the winter, we got released 2 weeks before Christmas.
No.
That's my sister dies December 23rd that year. So I'm going through, me losing my job, don't really know my wife's divorcing me yet, but things are starting to happen, I believe she was probably already cheating on me. Didn't want to believe it. Mike Sanders even told me in the car, she's cheating on you. Didn't want to believe it until you find out. Do you want to find out? Not really, but you do. You need to find out. So I'm going through all that. My brother's actually going through cancer as well. My older brother, John. He actually dies less than a year later. Both my parents have cancer. They're both sick. I get released, all this stuff. I go over to Japan. I'm wrestling in Japan. Then I do an independent shot with this company over in Finland. Get my face smashed, almost die, which the only explanation I have for this is Jesus sent an angel and pulled through, or he was there himself. Because the doctor told Mike Sanders I was going to die that night. Said, no way your buddy's going to make it. He's going to die. Because I had skull fracture, broken nose, broken jaw, my eyeballs hanging out of my head, 2 broken eardrums. I was a mess, dude. Was a mess. Couldn't do surgery on me because I had air in my brain. They couldn't do surgery on me that Saturday. They had to wait till the following Wednesday. It was just a bunch of crap going on all at one time. So, but that's what helped me kind of pull myself closer to Jesus, pull everything together, stop worrying about stuff going on in the world because, I know it's only a blink of an eye in Jesus' eye. Yeah. So that's when I started really getting involved with Jesus, start reading the Bible every day before apps on, like what is the Bible app I have? And I love this Bible app, which I'm going to give them a plug. What is this? It's of course, my internet's screwed up. The YouVersion Bible app. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to do some research on this because I just found out Evan Courageous, which I used to wrestle with. So I got this Bible here. Mm-hmm. Got my name on the front. It was given to me by a friend, but it's a life application, the New Living Translation. So I don't know if you know this, but you need to open up your Bible, which I'm see if I can do this right now for you. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I jump around too much. But this is something you need to know because this is kind of another part of my walk with Jesus that I want to get out there, which I do believe that a higher power, whatever you want to call them, the deep state, this and that, they're trying to take Jesus out of the schools, which they already have. They're trying to take Jesus out of a lot of stuff. So if you go, I don't know if you got a Bible right now, or if anybody's listening and you want to check this out, go to Matthew 17, verse 21. There is none in all these new Bibles. Really? It's not there. I just looked at mine yesterday. I haven't brought this to my attention. It really didn't sit well with me. Mm-hmm. So if you go to my Bible, and I'll read this for you. Okay. Matthew 17, verse 20 is in there. Mm-hmm. And in my Bible, I don't know if you can see this. In red is what Jesus speaks.
I can't see it. Bring it a little bit closer. Yes. Okay, now I see it. Yes.
Okay, so in the red is what Jesus speaks.
Okay.
So I'm going to read this to you. Matthew 17:20, like I said, this is all in red. You didn't have enough faith, Jesus told them. I assure you, even if you had faith as small as a mustard seed, you could say this to the mountain. Move from here to there, and it would move. Nothing would be impossible. Now you go to verse 20. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's not the end of 20. 20, it finishes, Jesus predicts his death the second time. So you go to verse 21. I don't know if you can see this in here.
I can see the red. Yep.
Okay, so Matthew 17:21, it's not there. It goes straight to 22.
How strange.
Okay, and you know what 21 reads?
What does it read?
It reads about prayer and fasting.
Wow.
How good prayer and fasting is, basically the gist of it is that you need to do this and it, prayer and fasting.
Yeah.
It's not in there because the powers that be don't want us to prayer and they don't want us to fast because they know it's good for us. And you and I have talked a lot about this.
Yes.
The short time that we've known each other.
Yep, about the fasting, and that's something you advocate strongly. And Matthew, I think it's something that you should do as well.
My wife does it. She does it a lot, like at certain times, like even holidays. She'll do it after Christmas, and she's.
So here's the thing: is if it's a hard day, okay. So let's do the fast thing. Like I think I told you this, Amir.
Yeah.
So the fasting, the 3 day is 72 hours. What else happened in 3 days?
Jesus raised again from the dead.
Yes, and that's why it's so important to do a 72-hour, 3-day fast. It's the same thing. After 3 days, your cells start regenerating, which is what brought Jesus back to life.
Yep.
So, dude, there's something in it with the 3-day fast. I'm telling you, and if you equate it to that, you can really start to comprehend how your body starts healing itself.
Yeah.
So, but that's after autophagy, which is some people 17 to 20 hours. So after autophagy, your body starts regenerating cells. It starts repairing itself, starts taking away inflammation. By the 3rd day, which Jesus resurrected, your body is healed after 3 days.
Which is something that we don't hear so much about in all these health and wellness places. They never teach.
It's on purpose. It's by design.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. I will never believe otherwise because I've read too much stuff that is supposed to be a conspiracy theory, which is actually true. So after all the time that it's true, how's it conspiracy? It's not.
No, it's not. And the coincidences, there aren't coincidences. I see one of our fans here, one of our dear friends, Alan, Red Fox Punks. He says, it will create new stem cells in the body and raise your testosterone levels too, which is extremely important for us guys.
Absolutely. 100%, dude. Yeah. See, he does his homework, so he knows.
Yeah. He knows. Red Fox knows. And that's something else that, of course, Lenny Lane and you have both gone down this fitness, nutrition, and body wellness path. Was that something you guys were into in wrestling days, or is this post wrestling? You really?
Well, now you're talking about the carnivore stuff.
All of that, all your diet experiments.
Well, here's the thing: is I used to bodybuild too, but now bodybuilders are unhealthy. Is all get out.
Yeah.
But
listen, bodacious one.
Yeah, I know.
It will teach you discipline on eating. It will help you. It really will. Before I started bodybuilding, I had no clue. I thought, I was 22, whatever, 21. I'm thinking, I'm never going to get fat, or, I don't have to worry about eating this or that. And then you start, after you bodybuild and you manipulate your carbs and your water intake and all this stuff. It's actually helped me with the fasting stuff tremendously because, when you're used to eating whatever you want, candy bars and junk and pizza, and you go from that to eating a bodybuilding diet, you start going, crap, dude, I don't know if this is all worth it. You're really sacrificing. So now how I equate that helped me fasting is I'm not only sacrificing for Jesus is why I do a fast, but I do it for myself too. But I always include Jesus in it because, without him, I couldn't do it. Right. And the other thing I do, I'm sure somebody in your life that has had cancer.
Just letting you know, buddy, I'm the guy. I got cancer right now.
Oh, that's so weird. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm going to definitely pray for you.
I'm praying for your niece too, because you said on the cafe, right? I think she has
Jessica.
Cancer,
but here's the thing is, and if this helps anybody out there that's listening, one person even, if you can't fast for Jesus Christ and you can't fast for yourself, which if you can't fast for Jesus Christ, you really need to start thinking about your life. Mm-hmm. What helps me get through it as well, a 3-day fast is nothing for me anymore. I think about my family, all the people that I seen die and suffer with cancer. If I can't do a 3-day fast for the people that I love, that I watch go through this, because I don't want to get cancer, and that's the reason I'm doing this. But if you can't do it for Jesus and your loved ones that have cancer or you've lost with cancer, if you can't dedicate 3 days for that cause to try to help your body heal itself, then why would, you know, what are we doing here?
Yeah, no, I think it's important. I think, and Matthew, Bodacious Suave, I think it might be something of interest for you to do that. If you
dude,
do,
you know what I would do,
I'll
and not
do it
cut
with
you
you.
off. If I go into a doctor's office right now and they tell me I got cancer, guaranteed I'm not eating anything. I'm going on a water only fast, and I'm doing that for 20, 30, 40 days, however long it takes me to get rid of the cancer. Because if Lenny was on here, which I turned my ringer on, he hasn't got back to me yet. He is busy. He actually knows a guy that had a mass in his stomach. He went on a 40-day water only fast, disappeared. They can't even explain what happened.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I have treatment coming up next month, and Kwee, I mean, you know, you seem to be familiar with the disease. Like, is it a hoax? As in, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get knowledge, right? They're gonna educate me on what to expect, and this is what you're gonna do, and I got to meet with a pharmacist. Is it kind of like a scam where they're not gonna tell me?
Dude, let me tell you something.
Eat, right? That's probably what they're gonna tell me. Like, get your strength, eat.
Yeah. So I get. How do I want to say this? I'm just going to be direct, and all the research I know and the people I know that I've spoken with about all this, I would never get chemo. I would never do radiation, because I tell you what, they are the number one and number two money-making profits in the medical industry. And there's a reason for that, because it's the first thing they tell you need to do. They don't try to tell you to fast to see if it'll help you. They're going to go to chemo and they're going to go to radiation. And their main goal is not to get you better. Their main goal is to keep you well enough to keep coming back to make them money. And if you die, they can't make money. So they're going to keep you sick enough and well enough to keep coming back, so they keep getting money. Unfortunately, that's the sad truth.
But
does it make a difference? I live in Canada and my healthcare is free.
Oh, well,
they're still billing the insurance. Of course.
Well, I'm paying high taxes, right? And that's where all our tax money goes.
Okay, so I mean, does it change anything? No, because they're still getting money from somewhere, because you're coming to see them.
Yeah. Bodacious one, I'd like for you to try that for 3. I'd like you to try a 3-day.
Dude, I'm telling you what, bro. You have to. You don't have a choice.
Yeah. Just guys.
And if I tell them that, they're going to tell me, they're going to throw me out of the room, right?
Don't tell them.
Out of here. No, but I'm just curious. If I brought up that knowledge to them, they're going to throw me out and say,
well, here's the difference between me and you. If I walked into a doctor's office and tell them that, I'm not expecting to go back. I'm not going back anyway. I'm just going in there telling that to throw it in their face and tell them they ain't getting none of my money.
Now I see why Sean O'Hare was scared of you.
So I'd go in that doctor's office and I would tell them just like this. Or if I actually wouldn't go back. So the day I went in there and they told me I had cancer, I wouldn't get a biopsy either. No biopsies whatsoever.
We know about that because it spreads, right?
Oh, dude, once you get an error in that biopsy, dude, you're done. You might as well call the freaking cemetery, make sure you got your plot and everything ready, and get everything ready with the funeral home.
What are you doing? It's too late. I already did it.
Well, so I wish I would have met you sooner.
Yeah, I know. You could have saved my life, pal. My biopsy was
okay. So if you, I'm not saying
you're gonna be all right, Bodacious one. You're gonna be all right.
Listen, I'm saying most people that don't know any of this stuff. I'm saying that is most people that don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do now is get you on the right path. Here, soon as the first thing you're going to do is when we get off this podcast is you're going to get down on your knees and you're going to pray, and you're going to ask Jesus for the strength to give you enough strength to give you a 3-day fast, water only, because that's going to kickstart your cells regenerating, and the cancer is going to start dying right there in 3 days. I promise you.
Because you're starving it, right? You're starving it.
If you believe that, it's going to happen, bro.
I think I do, because I know there's like certain things, like say sugar, for example. Cancer loves it.
It's a catalyst. Sugar and seed oils is why cancer still exists. And if you go to any restaurant and eat seed oils, I could go on about this for hours and hours.
Oh, we got time, buddy. We got time. Let's go.
So Unfortunately, I got to get to bed. It's 8 o'clock. And I still
that's right. It's but I tell you what. But Alan, I want you and Lenny to come back. I want to.
Yeah, we'll set it up. We'll set it up.
Yeah, I want to continue this because there's so many other things that I'm sure the viewers want to talk about, current topics, but I want to get back into the health topics. I think this is extremely important. And like I said, Matthew and I are both, we love our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ Yeshua, who none of this would be possible if it wasn't for him.
Yes, sir.
And I think that we can be a service to somebody who's going to see this.
Yeah, because dude, I'm telling you, you need to do a fast, bro. If you do nothing else, at least try a 3-day.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I'm not going to lie to you. Your first time, you might feel like crap. You might feel great, but you got to do it, bro. You got to get on the edge of that ledge and you got to jump off that 3-day fast.
Yeah. And if you do it, Bodacious Suave, I'll try and do it with you at the same time.
Because you're already getting leaner and proud. You told me earlier. Although my water weight's going down and I'm feeling tight.
Honestly, that has nothing to do with helping you with your fast. Honestly, that's it. You just got to do it, bro. Yeah. You got to do it. And here's the thing: is if you start doing a 3-day fast, and you can go farther, go farther. Don't. These doctors are going to do anything they can to tell you not to do that because they're going to say it's not healthy for you.
Right.
But it's not necessarily they're lying. They don't know any better. Because when these doctors go to these schools, dude, I'm going to tell you how it is.
I know. I work in healthcare. I know.
They get indoctrinated into these schools. All these colleges that these doctors get trained at and learn all this stuff is funded by Big Pharma in the deep state and people that do not want you to get better. No. They want you to be sick enough to keep coming back or as well enough or whatever you want to call it to keep coming back and giving them money. And that's all these schools do. They are, like I said, they are funded by Big Pharma. It's
a scam, dude. Like I said, and all these people that need all these drugs today, this never was a thing back in the 70s. If you remember, Kwee, back in the 70s, 80s, most people were generally healthy and fit.
Yes. Like all these things that there used to be available to you easier, like royal jelly, for example. Does anybody know what royal jelly is?
No.
It's what queen bees eat. And if you look this up, honey is good for you, but queen bees don't eat honey. They are fed royal jelly from however they make it. And they are 6 times bigger than regular bees. They live, 60 times longer than regular bee?
That's
because of the royal jelly. And it used to be a thing where if you took this stuff, you were healthy as a freaking horse.
Well, even iodine, Alan. Why did they take the iodine out of salt and everything?
Yeah, well.
We need that.
That's an easy answer, dude. They don't want you to be healthy.
Yeah.
They don't. So just like with peroxide, I take food grade hydrogen peroxide every day. I do all kinds of stuff.
You do that for your teeth, or is that?
Well, I do it for my teeth, but I do it for my health. I got this book. It's called is it 1 Minute or 3 Minute Miracle? I can't remember. I got so many books now.
Yeah.
But it's if you look this up, you can buy this even on Amazon. You can look up food grade hydrogen peroxide. I think it's the 1 Minute Miracle.
Okay.
And you read this book. I got it. You read this book, bro. It's got, hydrogen peroxide is powerful stuff, dude.
So you drink it?
Yeah. I actually what I do now with it, when I first started, I just put it in like a bottle of water, drink it, or 10 like droppers. You get this little dropper. Hold on, let me show it to you.
Yeah. In fact, Bodacious One, our loyal fan here. I'm going to say a loyal fan here. This is the man who hit the super sticker, who hit the super chat. I just want to drop that anvil. He said the 1 Minute Miracle. He goes, he's got the same book.
It is the 1 Minute Miracle. It's right here. The 1 Minute Miracle.
Food grade.
I got the 12% hydrogen peroxide, but I've been doing it for years. So I've got, when you first start out with this book, you do I think it's 5 drops a day. So this is it's just a regular dropper. I don't know if you see that. So
Yeah.
I pour it in this blue bottle you get with it when you order it. So you take this, pour it in a blue bottle. I think for the first day you do 5 drops, second day 6 drops, up until I think 20, and then you go back down 20, 19, 18, whatever. Okay. So me personally, like to me, 20 drops ain't a lot, really.
Right.
So I take like 2 full of these droppers a day, twice a day. And I haven't had any adverse effects or nothing, so I haven't made me sick. So now I just put a
live and in cut. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, I swallowed it, but sometimes I'll do that for about 15 minutes. I'll keep it in there to keep my teeth white.
That's true. It does get clean. Yep. Wow. Look at those mashers right there.
So I do that twice a day.
Yeah. Sometimes
for 10, 15 minutes, depends. Usually when I put this in, my phone rings and I got to answer it, so I got to swallow it. So I'll try it again later. But
this has been fantastic. I see a lot of comments have come in here. People are really enjoying this. They really want to hear more. So, Alan, and I've got to get with you. I've got to send you my labs because I want Lenny to take a look at them as well.
Yeah. And I'll send. If you send them to me, I'll send them to him anyway. So.
Yeah. I'll ask my wife when we get off.
But I do have the equation where you can calculate your triglycerides, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
But another thing, real quick, I never did finish my faith, but I just want people to know that Jesus Christ is real. He's our only true Lord and Savior, the living God. So just pray and fast. It's out of Matthew 17:21. So there must be some validity to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Amen. I thank you that you ended us on that note because, again, ladies and gentlemen, it's all for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. All glory to him, Yeshua. That's why we do this. That's why we created the Masters of Wrestling.
Absolutely.
It's not just about wrestling. It's about life. And we want to give you the absolute best viewers. I'm just going to tell our viewers as well, I'm going to be on NPR Illinois tonight. I'm going to be on another podcast at 6 p.m. So I'm sure if it's going to be live, but I'll be on there. I'll be talking more about what we do here and what I'm doing in the pro wrestling world. But definitely, Alan, get in contact with, please get in contact with Lenny. And I'd love to have you and Lenny come on with us next week if you're available.
Yeah. So like I said, this whole month, I'm really busy, bro. And I apologize for being so late today. But like I told you, it's just up in the air, man. You know what I mean? So
whenever we can do it, we'll do it. We'll be more than happy. But I want to thank you, Alan, for joining us. I want to thank all of our viewers for sticking with us today. Thank you so much, Bodacious One. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, do the share and all that. Join us again.
Yeah, I got to do that, matter of fact.
Yes. We've got new episodes coming out tomorrow morning. And then we're going to go live again on Tuesday with Paul Roma, Mario Mancini, and Rene Dupree, my co-star from the Café de René.
Nice,
so be sure to that. And I'm going to talk to Paul London tonight, so we'll see when we get Paul London on. I'd love to have you on with him.
Paul London's great, dude. I love that dude.
He just wrote me back now while we were filming.
He's a good guy, man. Tell him I said hi, please.
I will.
We will.
I work with him in Lucha Libre USA too.
He's one of the best, man. Paul.
Hey, don't forget. Before I forget this, the King James version I think is the only Bible that Evan told me where everything's accurate and nothing's taken out of it.
The King James?
Yeah,
that's the only one from what I understand. All the new translations, things have been modified and taken out.
Dude, that really bugs me. Whoever done that is going straight to hell. There's no collecting $200. There's no coming back from stuff like that.
Well, there's not because it's written in the Bible. If you add or take away, you're done.
Yeah, it's to me that is insane.
Yeah,
crazy.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but we hope that throughout all this craziness, ladies and gentlemen, we give you a little bit of common sense, goodness, and positivity. Hopefully. So
I'll actually have a shirt on next time. I just got out of the shower and I'm trying to hurry up. And
well, you know what?
Bathrobe on. It's cold here in Ohio now, dude. It's freezing.
What's the temperature out there?
It's been like 24 all day.
Damn, that's cold.
It's snowing, and well, it's 72 in here, so it ain't 24 in here.
Not too bad there. I'm the only one that's got a little bit of heat left here in California. Wow. But Alan, stay on the line. Bodacious One, stay on the line. I'm going to end the live stream now. Until the next one, everybody, God bless each and every one of you. Take care and have a good night. Thank you.